I have 1.8 million in debt total.
Good Lord.
Okay, this person is clearly overwhelmed with their financial situation, so I wanted to dive into exactly what I would do. So the first thing I did is I made a net worth statement for this individual. Obviously, we don't have all of the information, but I'm just going to go off of what they said in this interview. So they have 2 properties, a triplex and a house, and 2 vehicles. They have mortgages on both of these properties. They also have about $70,000 in payments outstanding on their vehicles, $350,000 in personal loans, and $35,000 in credit card and student loan debt. I'm going to say that the Hondas are worth equivalent to what they have outstanding. That may or may not be the case. I will say that my suggestion would be to get rid of one of these vehicles if possible, if not both of them, and find a vehicle that is less expensive. So they have a net worth of negative $55,000, and I think that they are very stressed about their financial situation. So they have a net worth of negative $55,000. Also mentioned they have a household income of about $120,000. So I took this amount, I divided it by 2 because there are 2 individuals in this household, and I used the EY tax calculator to calculate that they would both have about $48,000 worth of income after tax. So that gives us about $96,000 to work with. Again, I don't know their mortgage payments, so this is just based on the information that I have. The first thing I would do is absolutely get rid of that triplex. It seems like they're going to be able to get $170,000 in equity out of it, and I would be taking that and putting that right against my high interest debt. So my credit card debt, if my student loan was high interest, I don't know in the US what it's like, but I would be putting it towards that as well. Again, I would also get rid of those Hondas. They're way too expensive, especially if there's still $70,000 outstanding on them. I know that's easier said than done, but I would find vehicles that were more budget friendly or that I could pay for in cash with the remainder of the proceeds from my sale of the triplex. I don't know if there's an interest rate on the personal loan, but if there is a high interest rate or that individual wants to be paid back, I would be focusing my efforts on that. And then of course I would say that they need to start building up some of their other assets. So they're not solely invested in real estate. So I'd be saying at least 10% of their income should be going to investing, and 10% of it should also be going towards additional debt repayment. So here's exactly what I would tell them to do. Sell that triplex and get those proceeds out of there. Get rid of both of those expensive cars. Hopefully you can sell them for the amount that covers your loan. I would take those proceeds and immediately pay off any high interest debt. We're going to assume that it's all high interest. I would take $50,000 of those proceeds and purchase 2 really inexpensive cars that are going to just get you from point A to point B. We don't need anything fancy. Assuming that there is interest on that personal loan, I would throw $50,000 on that. I would also make sure that you have a $5,000 emergency fund, and I would take $30,000 and invest it right away. And so after 1 year, they would be left with their house and a mortgage outstanding on that. I reduced the principal balance of the mortgage by about $1,000 a month. They would have 2 vehicles that were paid for in cash worth about $25,000. They would have $42,000 in investment because I also assumed that they would take $800 a month and invest that on top of the $30,000 that they invested. Hopefully they would still have their $5,000 emergency fund, and they would also be paying off that personal loan. So in 1 year, they were able to take their net worth from negative $55,000 to negative $20,000. And in 5 years' time, they would be in a lot better financial situation. Again, they would continue to pay down their mortgage and keeping the value of the house the same. Hopefully, again, those 2 vehicles are still there. They're probably going to be worth a bit less over the course of 5 years. If they continue to invest that almost $10,000 per year and earn about 8% in the market, that's going to continue to grow to hopefully close to 7 figures by retirement.